Hello everyone, and welcome to Downhaven Entertainment. Today we will be reviewing Looper. Let me just say, I was very excited about Looper. I'm a sucker for time travel movies, and what I've been seeing in the trailers, both thumbs were up. And what really drew me in is Levitt putting on his Bruce Willis impression for the movie. In the trailers, it looked like he did an okay job. But the only thing I thought would put me off in this movie is all the action in the trailer. I thought they were going to focus on all the fighting and shooting rather than the story, and I wouldn't appreciate it that much.
Shut your dirty whore mouth, player!
No, you shut your face! Anyway, I was wrong about that, so let's get into the movie. The movie stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt as younger Joseph Simmons, or let's just get this out of the way, he played a young Bruce Willis. This kid shocked me on how well he portrayed Willis. The way he walks, the expressions on his face, and the makeup job on him was done beautifully and had me sold that he was the younger version of this character. Superb job. Bruce Willis as older Joseph Simmons. Bruce Willis was Bruce Willis in this movie. But when is that ever a bad thing? I love this guy as an actor. If he has a good script to work with, it'll work. Emily Blunt as Sarah, and Jeff Daniels as Abe. Now the person who did the music for the movie is Rian Johnson. I think he did a pretty good job. Some of the music in this film was somewhat haunting and drew me into the movie, and that's always a plus for me. Now let's talk about what worked for the movie. The trailer. Now this is what a trailer should be about. Show some things that'll get you into the movie and leave a lot out, so when you get into the theater you don't know what to expect. Thank you. The script was a plus for me because 90% of the characters that are in this movie you care for. There's really no bad guy versus good guy. It's just people trying to survive in this way of life. So near the middle of the film, you most likely will want everybody in this movie to make it through the situation because they are three-dimensional human beings and you get the sense of that. And the relationship between the old Joseph and the young Joseph was done extremely well. Both of these guys, if you can call it that, whatever. Both of these guys have the same personality and traits, but their motivations differ, so therefore we have two characters. And since both of these characters have the same traits dealing with different issues, they both approach the issues in their own fashion, if that makes any sense. Look, they learn the same thing in a different situation in a different place and time. Yeah, the direction. The movie had some pretty good scenery and it knew what it wanted to be in a certain situation. For example, the city scenes had a colder feel and it was fast paced. So when we get to more of the country scene, it was warm and felt organic and the shot stayed on the calm situation and it was the calm down feel of the movie. The special effects were perfect for me. The main reason was that it wasn't all eye candy. The movie had depth to it and it was a little more story driven. So special effects weren't all over the place. They were placed here and there, so when it does happen, my mouth dropped. Thumbs up. Same with the action. The action had its place and it was not thrown at you all of the time. It was placed well. The pacing. The pacing was great in this movie. Right as soon as you think this movie is going to slow down, it puts you right into another situation, and it didn't even have to be an action piece. No, it was because I cared for all of these characters. So when it went into the next characters, I was right on board, never bored. The narration. What I loved about the narration is that it gets you into the movie, lets you know what's going on in this world, just enough for you to grasp and understand, and it ends by letting you know why it ended the way it did, which was poetic and went with the name of the movie. The idea of the future. The future was very realistic, so you do have a connection with this world that is set in, and it's cool when we get to see the evolution of the Joe character. We only get a glimpse of that particular future, mainly because we are focusing on how the future was changed. And I thought it was kind of cool that they were both in the future. That was pretty cool. Another thing I loved about this movie was the climax. It was poetic and beautiful. I didn't see it coming. That's all I'm going to say. Now let's talk about what didn't work for the movie. Though as I said before, the action was placed well, it didn't know what it wanted to be. At some points, the beginning for example, Levitt shoots his targets and you see some body matter. Yet at some points the violence is off screen. Now I prefer the off screen violence, less is better, but this was a little off-putting for it not knowing what it wanted to be. Especially one part where we have the one-man army scene, one guy shooting guns against 20 people who can't hit him.
What you talking about, Willis?
That came out of nowhere. That goes for the sexuality also. I for one think nudity for sexual purposes cheapens the movie, as it serves no purpose to the movie other than the male audience to look at breasts and distract you from the movie. There was a scene in which Levitt was talking about a particular situation, but I could care less because there is a topless woman on top of him in tight underwear. Kinda spoiled the seriousness of the situation. I just had the hots for the chick. Yet, when it comes to the act of sex, it is implied, which is what I prefer. I get the point, they had sex, let's move on, which is better. It's like me talking about this situation with me not liking it while I have this going on in the background at the same time. Kind of defeats the purpose, don't you think? Other than that, this movie is a blast. The trailer gave us the scenes of an action flick, delivered the action, and gave us way more than we expected when it comes to story and depth and characters. And when the movie was over, the theater was quiet, and when we left the place, it was like this outside.
Shut your dirty whore mouth, player!
Pretty good day for a movie. So despite the flaws, I have to give this movie a solid A.